welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a bunch of wet sanding. I'm going to do 220, get it down nice and flush and flat, and then go from there. And we're going to build it up to 800 and get this door nice and flat. And hopefully I'll be able to get it nice and that sealer primer on it. Let me take this off. So, you know, some things I'm kind of noticing economy-wise is I think people are running out of money everywhere. It seems like that's kind of what's happening. You know, especially maybe on the lower end, maybe middle class, lower end. I see that McDonald's is trying to create a cheaper value menu, and you know, they're trying to bring customers back. And I've noticed, because I go to the gas station it's connected to a McDonald's, that the McDonald's is basically empty and bare nowadays. You know, it used to be quick, cheap food. I think that's gone. You know, I don't. The lower end people are, you know, can't afford to be going to McDonald's and get those cheap meals like they used to. You know, you just see it. It's happening. And then, on top of that, I was watching another YouTube guy. He specializes in C8 Corvettes, and prices are just falling off. You know, getting cheaper for them too. I've kind of noticed that all old cars and everything are kind of, you know, they're kind of stabilizing out a little bit. They kind of rose a little bit, but now I can see that they're starting to come back down to a little more. You know, they're starting to stabilize, and I think a lot of it's just because, you know, I think we're all tapped out. And I told you I've been doing the mail audits, you know, for the route inspections and stuff, and even there, a lot of people are talking about getting second jobs, you know, just to get by and stuff. And they make pretty well. I would have thought, and you know, I thought I made a pretty good wage, but unfortunately, with energy costs and everything else going up, it's not keeping up. It really isn't. We need a really good, decent, you know, raise, and I'm even looking to see if I can probably get a second type of job, you know, for a career type of job. And it's sad that a lot of us are thinking about getting, you know, a second job just to get by. So it's kind of interesting to see where we're going. But anyway, back to the C8 Corvette prices. They're starting to come back down to, you know, because they were overinflated to begin with. But at least now, you know, maybe besides the Z06, you're able to get them back down to our MSRP, and they're starting to become affordable. You know, this is just general observations. I'm always looking at stuff. And another one I've been looking at is the C4 Corvette, because I figure that'd make a good daily driver. So I've been looking for like a 94 to a 96, you know, C4 Corvette. I think that would be a nice little daily driver. I'm not going to buy one right now. I still have my Subaru, but my stepdaughter, she turned 14 not too long ago. A week ago? 2 weeks ago? A week and a half, whatever. Anyway, and I already promised her I'd give her the Subaru. And that'd be a perfect first car for her. Nice and safe. And so then from there, that's why I'm kind of looking for a C4 Corvette. And, you know, just as a daily. And so, I you know, I look at the prices of C4 Corvettes. They've gone up a little bit, but not not too crazy. You know, just maybe like 1,000, 2,000, you know. So nothing too crazy there. C5s are kind of, besides the Z06s, they're kind of stabilized. And then you get into the C6 Corvettes, and the prices seem to have gone up on them. I don't know if it's a, I don't know. I regret kind of trading mine in. But I think it's a better looking car than the C7. I think you get a lot more performance for the dollar, you know, with the C6. That's just me. You know, don't get me wrong, the C7s are just fine. I personally didn't really care for the C7s much. You know, I think they were just kind of that stopgap between a C6 and then the C8. The ZR1 C7 though, whew, amazing car. But like I said, it just overall, I kind of think the C6s look better. Personal opinion. But yeah, the C8s are starting to come down in price a little bit. So I think the honeymoon's over with the C8 finally. You know, and I love the C8s. The C8s look amazing. I've never gotten to sit in one or drive one yet, but I really do think they look really great. And I got a police helicopter flying over again. What's going on? Anyway, yeah, so prices are starting to mellow out a little bit. You know, personally, I want to get another C6, but where money's becoming a little more tight, you know, I just don't see me getting, you know, a C6 right out of the gate unless something changes within the next 2 years. So my next budget will be within the $15,000 range. I wasn't a big fan of the C5s, mainly for just the interior. To be honest, the interior was kind of a put off on the C5 for me. I've driven them, and they're fine. I just think a C4, I don't know, just like I said, C4 to me feels more, I don't know, just feels more like a little more of a racier car. I don't know. Like I said, I could be totally wrong. Just my opinion. Nothing wrong with C5s. You know, I still like them and everything, but it's mainly the interior. I just didn't fit well in them. I don't fit very well in a C2, but it's just, like I said, a C2 is just, to me, art. They're just beautiful. C1s are now just basically just an old car. You know, would I consider a C1 a sports car? Probably not. I mean, back in the day it was, but is it really now? I don't know. But I have been seeing more deals on C3s too. Actually, some pretty decent deals on C3s. I don't know what's happening in the C3 market really. Besides, you know, like, so there's still like the late 80s, 80 and 81 and 82s. They seem to be going very well. The 78, they still be selling for some pretty good money. Of course, you got the chrome bumper ones. They're doing really good. 74 is really picked up in price, and 75 is picked up in price. I've noticed mainly the convertibles. So maybe, I don't know. It's just very tough to say. But I have to say this too: parts and everything have gone up tremendously. So I think there's going to be a lagger of being able to rebuild these cars, and, you know, things like that. Because part prices will play a factor into what these cars sell for. Because if you can't restore a car for less than, you know, $60,000, and I know you don't make your money back. You never do make your money back, but you know, there's too big of a gap that I'm seeing with fixing up a car, you know, and buying one that's already all restored or redone or retro modded. Of course, retro mods, they go for some good money, especially the, you know, the ones that's gone through everything. They go for like 100,000+, you know. So what are people paying for? I mean, what would you pay for? What would you pay for a '69 Corvette, you know? I'm seeing a lot of '69 Corvettes just with the small block 350s. You know, they're jumping up there. They're getting up to the $32,000 to $35,000 range. You know? But those are the ones that are pretty much all done. You know, there's no need, no any work. If a car does need work, then you can start seeing, like, then prices really start coming down. And then those are pretty good deals. I've seen one, let's see, what it was. I think it was a 68. And it was all there, but it just pretty much had to be able to, you know, you had to go through everything on it. And, you know, they want a 16,000. So with it being all there and everything, but the problem is you don't know what you're getting. Exactly. You know, you don't know what the engine is, how good of an engine, you know, whatever. And I know a lot of people, they like to try and keep these cars numbers matching, and, you know, and all that. So that's a whole different topic. But when I was buying mine, when I was looking for this one, I personally was looking for something that I could retro mod and do what I wanted to it, and do body modifications, and, you know. So I was looking for something that wasn't original at all. Because I'm all for originality cars, but to me, you can't drive them. I mean, you can drive them, but I mean, you can't, yeah, I got a lead foot. I mean, we all know that. You've seen my intro. Anyway, so I like to I kind of like to get up on them a little bit. I'm not crazy. I'm not doing like, you know, any racing or anything like that. But so that's what I was looking for when I was shopping around. You know, I'm not afraid to say what I got this for. I bought it for $24,000. Cost me about $1,000 at the time, about $1,200 I think for shipping. And then I was buying parts left and right. This is when I had, you know, I just had tons of money sitting around. And then, you know, nowadays it's kind of funny how things could take a change, you know, a flip. But now I'm like going, oh shoot, I'm letting check the check. Mainly because I don't know, I just had just a string of bad luck. Everything started breaking down. HVAC, you know, for the house, it needed replaced. You know, everything just started breaking down on me. You know, some of the car parts on the Subaru, I had to get that replaced. You know, and that was frustrating. And all new tires for all my vehicles. So that was, you know, that cost some money there. So just bills just added up really quick. And so now this is where I'm at. So most of the parts I already have bought ahead of time. And speaking of inflation, I bought the parts is when I bought the car, and I've been keeping a running total. And the running total is, well, I mean, I'm kind of keeping labor costs, you know, involved too. But with labor, I'm over $50,000 in parts and labor. I'm considering myself my own labor. You know, I'm trying to keep track of how many hours I'm trying to put into it, and a lot of it's parts, of course. But part-wise, inflation has just taken over, and now, if I was to buy the parts, like the side pipes, and you know, all the parts I purchased, now, today, I'd be spending $7,000 more. That's a lot of freaking money, you know, and it's just a little, you know, here and there, but it's like, the side pipes have went up, I'm almost, what was it, $600, I think? You know, from what I purchased them, you know. I mean, that's kind of crazy. That really is crazy. So, and are those prices going to come down? No. Once they stabilize, and, you know, they stay there. So it's kind of interesting to see. Like, but C8s, if you're not looking for the Z06 or anything fancy, they're coming down in price. You have the money. I'm thinking though, where inflation's getting higher, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more classics and sport cars and cars just in general, you know, hit the market more often now. I don't think people are going to be giving away cars, but I think we're going to start seeing a lot more price reductions a little bit to try and get rid of them. High-end cars are always going to be high-end cars. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? They're going to hold their value. So, my personal opinion, I really think the C3 Corvettes are really undervalued. You know, I know the C2s are just, like I said, they're basically art. They're beautiful cars. But you go shopping for a C2, yeah, you're going to be spending just to get the car, you know, $40,000 for one that just needs some serious work, like paint, and all that. And then, you know, if you want one that's really pretty decent, they're about 60 grand. There might be exceptions out there, and I might be wrong, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. And if you want a top-notch one, I mean, they're almost pushing 100,000 now. You know, for, you know, like a 427 big block, 1967, you know, or a fuel injection. Of course, those ones, those suckers are way expensive. But that's what we're starting to see. And those are all number matching and everything. And retro mods are really going good for C2s too. But it seems like the C2 market is where the money is at. C1s, unless it's like something rare, you know, I see C2s going for more than C1s. And I just think the C3 is undervalued. I don't know. It's not because I own one, but I've just always looked and I always felt that these, especially the chrome bumper ones, you know, should be in about, you know, the $35,000 range myself. I know car prices aren't that made that way. It's what people will pay for them. I understand. I totally understand. You know, but just my feeling is, I personally feel they're undervalued. C6s, I think they're a little overvalued. But like I said, it's the demand everybody wants, supply and demand. You don't see too many people wanting a C6 or C3, you know, as much as something newer. The C3s were kind of the last of the older technology, you know, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but like carburetors and whatnot. So to me, it's a good thing. They're simpler to work on, less electronics to go wrong. That's kind of why I'm a little leery of a C4, is because C4s have those electronics that they're starting to go become old, and they're going to be hard to, you know, find replacements. You know, like computer chips and stuff. They're going to be harder to find replacements to fix the car. I really think C4s are going to be where it's at for retro modding. I think once people start making more items, you know, retro mod items for the C4, I think the C4s will really pick up in price, because you'll be able to start picking them up, or you'll be able to pick up a C4 really cheap. But then after that, you know, and you know, you'll be able to retro mod it, have a really, really good car. It's a great car to begin with, but once you start doing that, then, you know, I think the younger generation will see an opportunity to jump in and pick up those cars, you know, for a really decent price. You kind of see that with the 80s Mustangs, like what do they call, square bodies? Because they, I don't know, they're a lot more expensive than I thought. One of my friends is kind of looking for one, and so I was just kind of shopping around looking at them, and they're pretty spendy for, you know, a pretty common car, but they're popular. So, and I see more and more C3s coming out and driving around too, so that kind of gives me hope too, that these are becoming more popular, a little more fun, for people to actually get out and drive them. I think that's where the C3 is going to sit. You know, after the chrome bumpers, I think that's where like I said, the fun of the car is going to be, because you know, you can swap engines and do all sorts of things to it. It'll be a fun little car. You know, and there'll be those collector ones, but like C2s, they're pretty much all collector cars. You know, because they just really are. And then like the C1s and all that, they're just older technology, and I think people, they just want to drive them more as take them to car shows and show them off, because they really are pretty cars too. More of a history thing with the C2s and that. But I think for actually driving cars and having fun, I see a lot more C3s out there. I don't know what it is. It's just within the last 5 years, I've seen a lot more. You know, I'm actually driving around, not just car shows. So, anyway, I don't see inflation coming down any either. So, you know, I see parts and everything going to still be expensive as all hell, and you know, we'll figure it out. You know, everything corrects, everything, you know, everything fluctuates, but I really do believe it's the C3's time to shine. So I really think they're starting to come out and be something people are looking at. You have to admit, this car has beautiful lines. Looks aerodynamic. Might not be, but it looks like it's going fast. Alright, well anyway, I'm just going to keep working on this and see if I can I want to see how much I can get this door done. And we'll go from there.